The CEO of the NRDC, the Natural Resources Defense Council, says that the Biden administration's 5-year offshore oil and gas plan is simply a lose-lose. Here's why they said that. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. I'm the Electric Viking. Great to see you. My name is Sam Evans. I'm coming to you here from Melbourne, Australia. If you have supported the channel through Patreon or through becoming a member of the channel, big shout out to you. Thank you so much for your support. It actually makes this channel possible. Without that support, I wouldn't be able to spend, 50 plus hours a week making these videos. It does take a long time. And now most of my working life, not all of it, but most of it is focused on this YouTube channel. So thank you for your support. Now, if you want to jump on and support us, I'll put a link to the members page, which is becoming a member on YouTube, and you get access to videos, some videos earlier than others, in fact, several days earlier than other people. Also to our Patreon page as well. I'll put a link in the description as well. Now, the NRDC said that the Department of the Interior's Bureau of Ocean Energy Management on Friday proposed 11 potential offshore leases for oil and gas companies in public waters in the Gulf of Mexico and possibly Alaska for the 5-year period from 2023 through to 2028. The plan sets forth various options, and the outcome will depend upon public comment. So it's not set in stone yet. Manish Bapna, President and CEO of NRDC, made the following statement. Expanding offshore drilling puts more ocean waters, marine life, and coastal communities at risk of catastrophic blowouts and ongoing harm. If the administration chooses a plan that expands leasing, it will deepen our dependence on the fuels driving the climate crisis and padding the war chests of belligerent petrostates. And it won't do a thing to ease summer pump prices. That's a myth. Oil and gas companies already lease enough of the Gulf to cover half the state of South Carolina. That's plenty, the industry itself says, to produce for another decade or more. It's time to invest in cleaner, smarter ways to power our future, to get more clean energy from the wind and the sun, speed the shift to electric vehicles and renewable energy, and build a modern, reliable power grid and storage system. That's the way to cut costs for our families, strengthen the economy, and make our country more secure. The Department of the Interior will open a 90-day public comment period on its draft proposed program. So what's actually going on here? What is this 5-year plan? Well, on January the 27th, 2020, immediately upon taking office, President Biden issued an executive order directing the Secretary of the Interior to pause and review new oil and gas leasing in federal offshore waters and onshore. The existing 5-year program dates back to the Obama administration, which announced a plan in March 2016 to exclude the Atlantic Ocean from leasing. In January 2018, the Trump administration proposed, but never finalized, a 5-year plan that would have opened nearly every coast, including the Atlantic and Pacific, to oil and gas leasing. In December 2016, President Obama had permanently withdrawn portions of the Arctic Ocean and 26 canyon areas off the Atlantic Ocean from federal offshore leasing under the Outer Continental Shelf Leasing Act, or OCSLA. President Trump sought to reopen those areas in 2017. NRDC and partners sued, and a federal court rejected Trump's move. So you can see this organization does actually have a fair bit of power. They're not completely toothless. In April of 2020, following Biden's executive order, a federal appeals court dismissed the case as moot. Now, there's an interesting comment in response to these words from Manish Bapna, CEO of the Natural Resources Defense Council, which I think it's impressive that they're actually able to sue and prevent these sorts of things happening in the past. Well, I mean, in some cases, I can see why these sorts of things are necessary, but in some cases, the environmental damage is just not worth the cost of actually opening up these deep sea oil wells. Now, this is what they said. Bad people behaving badly, or rather, trying to behave badly. The economics of deep sea drilling means that once you start pumping, you don't stop until the hole goes dry. Since it takes 20 years to pay back the capital sunk in that hole, it had better keep producing for at least that long. 20 years from today is 2042, and demand for oil is going to be so low that Saudi Arabia and Iran will be the last two countries pumping it. Why them? $5 a barrel lifting costs is why. 2/3 cheaper than anyone else. 2/3 cheaper. That's the current state we're in right now. That's crazy. Now, ICE, internal combustion engines, are expected to die between 2025 and 2030 at the latest. And the older a car gets, the fewer miles it actually gets driven. Did you know that's true? In pretty much all Western countries, the older a car is, the less miles it gets driven per year. Now, if I know that, then the rest of you can be assured that investors know that too. Well, interesting that you say that. I actually think a lot of investors are not aware of this kind of thing. There's still investors pouring money into building coal power plants. Seriously, the economics of them is nightmarish. Billions of dollars of losses are going to be accrued very, very soon. There's many, many reports on this by RethinkX and other smart people in the industry saying all these billions of losses are coming. Yet there's still investors dumb enough, or they're fooled by very smart people into investing in these kinds of projects who they really don't think out what's going to happen in the long term. They're not aware of what's going on in the industry. And unfortunately, that means they're going to lose a lot of money. Now, let me know what you think about this case. Do you agree or disagree with the Biden administration's proposed 5-year leases in the Gulf of Mexico? Now, there's 11 potential offshore leases for oil and gas companies in public waters in the Gulf, and possibly Alaska for a 5-year period from 2023 through to 2028. I don't know what would happen after 2028, but I would assume that it's likely there'd be some sort of clause where they're allowed to pay again for an additional lease, because otherwise, imagine the amount of money they'd invest. There's no way they could possibly recoup that in 5 years. So that it really honestly wouldn't be a lease that would go from 2023 to 2028. More than likely, it'd be what that commenter said. You're looking 15 years minimum likely, probably more like 20 years. In my view, I agree. Oil consumption will be far lower. Now, obviously, oil is not only used for transportation. It's used for manufacturing, for lots of different things. But obviously, transportation is its primary usage. So once it's not used in transportation, once say by 2040, its use in transportation is, I would say, no more than maybe 20% worldwide for all transportation. Then, at that point, what happens to all these places? I mean, do they just stop pumping? Can you stop pumping? I don't know if that's even feasible. Let me know, though, what you think in the comment section below. I actually don't know all that much about this sort of stuff. So I'm happy to, what I want to know is, for those of you who do know about it, actually, comment below, let me know, educate us all on what's going on and whether or not you think this is a good idea or it's a bad idea. Frankly, to me, it looks like it could be a bad one, but I'm not really too sure. Thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing and supporting the channel. And as always, have an awesome day. Bye-bye.